All right. How bad am I doing? You saw me log in, and the first thing I did is check out the loot box, and I got it. Got that money, and I like the credits because I'm spending a lot of stuff buying items on the market, and this is when you want to spend your money if you got it. The other thing is you want to start putting a lot of things on the market if you want to sell, and think about what you may want to mint as far as what you have for gears and stuff like that, or ships or bots, because we only got like 8 days left in the season. So damn, hurry up. And you can see I've been slipping on the leaderboards, right? It's rough. I've had a little vacation distraction going on. So, that'll happen. You're welcome. And it ain't going to happen next season. Because I think I'm going to, instead of splitting, going with just my wax account. So I'm looking to place a little bit higher on the leaderboards. But yeah. So back to the stream. I realized I was muted coming out of the intro, so that's awesome. But we're going to cover my three favorite Outlaw Troopers, Machiavellic, and Cornucopias. You could probably lip sync that at the beginning of the show. But we're getting right into the Troopers because that is what's going on right now. Machiavellic and Cornucopias are also live, and you can log in and play too. But this one is dope with the season, and there's not much time left. So getting back to the Spacefarer, you can see, you look at your mission rewards. You can see how many task areas there are and how many times I've been there. That kill death ratio isn't too hot. But boom. And that's for all of your troopers going out on those missions, hitting all those spots right there, right? And, you can always upgrade to get another whitelist. And when you do that, you figure out which one is not lit up and connected that you may want to add. Let's go with greeny right here. Can we do that? Nope. How about this one? We can do that one. You see, add it. Sure, why not? And then you can see the dashboard resets. So if you look at this mission objective, this is a good way to sneak in and get some rep. Because a lot of people are racing up the leaderboards, right? All of them. So speaking of that, why don't we check it out? I really don't like to show you this because, I'm not doing so good on these boards. I don't want to scroll way down and look at my score. So I like looking at the Empire first. This is like the main leaderboard, just like it says. You can see the top, man, they get paid. They get some good NFT loot. And I really like the additional things that the troopers give you is the various bounties that you can get on the daily. So anytime you can add to your troopers, there's multiple things they're doing for you. So yeah, we don't need to scroll down too far, but that's the main. And you can see, all the way down to 17th place, you're getting an epic trooper, man. That's dope. But really, just to keep scrolling and look at, how far you go, and you still get a rare trooper all the way down to 58th place. Wah, wah. And that's my best account, guys. Rocket 55th. Damn. And don't forget your alien worlds to get your 2 free arcs on the daily, too. Especially if you're trying to milk that for the last minute reputation. And the other thing is, when you get a reward, don't be afraid to click that button to re-roll it, and maybe you'll get better stats, better mission rewards or arc rewards. Take that risk and spend a little bit of that, right? A little bit of that FGL. Let's do it. Now, let's see. What else do we have? You can see all the other leaderboards going on for week 5. They're all the same each week. They just reset. So every week you get a chance to start from scratch and try to get the top spot. I am stinking at the abyss too. I mean, I think I'm like 35th or 37th for depth level, which I think is pretty good. But I mean, they don't show it right here, but they are way down. And I'm just barely able to use the abyssal gene on my main account here. But you can see you get a little bit of OLT for going down, and I'm still not even close. Look at that. Whew. Where's that shame meme? I need it. Yeah, we won't stay on here too long, guys. I mean, come on. I'm just embarrassing myself. One thing I have still enjoyed is the delving and also the combat with the ship battles. Let's go ahead and do that. The two I do mainly is the Defeat the Horde and the Seasonal. So that's what we're going to do. And this is the side of the game in Outlaw Troopers where your individual ship stats are beneficial, right? So you got to figure out how you want to load it up. And if you look, these change. So right now you can actually have a limited, which I don't have any. You can't use any legendary ships, but you can use epic, rare, and common. Let's go. And I like, and this is also, you're going against the computer, guys. You're not going against fellow players. But you can see if you highlight the ships that you have, the various stats that they'll give you, right? Like you'll notice a lot of the epic ships. They may not have really good base damage, but they have pretty sweet specials like this one. Power up a friendly ship, allowing it to attack twice on its next turn. So we'll probably load him up. You can see I've got, and these are all like Titan ships, so they take up 2 slots. FYI. I like the heavy hitters with the damage, so let's lead with that, even though he does more. And then, why not? Pretty easy. See, I got 3, and you know it goes up each time you battle and lose. Crafty does the 3 speed, and let's see if the ship battles are going on. Oh, yeah. Let that roll for a second, and let's get some jams. What are we going to listen to today, guys? Oh, nah, I'm not feeling love. Nature sounds? Nah, miss me with that. Let's go right to the hip hop. Pause, but you can just have it play out, walk away. Good time to get a drink, get a refill or something. Yeah, there's so many ways you can walk away. Like the regular encounters, you can always hit that spacebar pause, right, and just get out of there. You can't do that when you're doing the Echoes event. Now you can see with the encounters, every time you win, you still have to keep battling until your ships are gone, right? So it usually flips you over to the next battle. Then when you lose, you got to hit the select fleet, and you can see it's going up. That also is the opportunity where you can switch it up, right? Like if you want to, you're getting your ass kicked and you want to use different ships. I'm a fan using the Titans just because it's easy, and it's like 3 ships. I can easily keep track of what's going on. So I usually do all of the battles for this Defeat the Horde event. And you'll also notice the, like when you get to the checkpoints, it actually, if you can make it through that, the next level would actually reset your power. Alright, I'm not doing too bad this round. Let's keep it going. How many do I have left? 7? Yeah, these ships that throw down the heals, especially across the board. That's really nice. You can see they don't usually have a lot of energy. Dude, man, I still won, sucker. Yeah, and this is how you know it's a checkpoint. Ain't no way I'm winning this. Let's go ahead and skip it. Probably will take him out with the 7 I have left, so let's just keep going. No, I'm going to lose this one. What are we up to? 5? Yeah, we got plenty. We got plenty of energy right there. Let's go. Yeah, I think I'll just do the battles and then maybe recap a little bit of Outlaw Troopers and then jump into Machiavellic next. Let's finish up these battles. I'll do these battles and I'll do the seasonal. Maybe I'll see if I can like blend a Biocraft as well. Guess I should probably see if anybody's chatting. My bad if you guys are typing and I'm not looking at it. Go ahead and see what's up. And speaking of Troopers, you guys must have seen Outlaw Troopers. I mean, cult classic. Game's awesome. I mean, not the game, the movie. Back on track, Crafty. We're up to 7. You know I'm going to finally win, or I'd be embarrassed if I didn't. Let's go. Got it. And this really is the flagship game for FGL games, Outlaw Troopers. You know, it's pretty far out in the season. I love seeing all of the engagement in the community and also the action on the leaderboards. And the fact that all you have to do is play and you're going to get some decent prizes. And everything that you get is going to help you get better in the game if you want to continue to play it. And that's what we want. You can flip your NFTs and sell and do all that and try to make money, but it's really just gameplay. And that's why, specifically to the OLT token, you know, it's like, I get that people want to make money and make profit and stuff, but it's like, I just care about throwing it into the game so I can get the energy off of it, right? And, you know, so I'm not looking at like arbitrage or anything like that. I'm looking to use it in the game. Now, if I can make some money, and obviously not financial advice, right? But if I can just take some of my coins and get more wax or something and switch to FGL, you know, which you can both use for the game, whether you're buying more NFTs on the wax marketplace, shout out to Atomic Cub, or not. Maybe you're just using FGL to put back into the game so you can do your minting. 2 left. Let's keep it going. I'll keep a track of time too. I'm gonna kick your butt. Let's see where we are on the level. Right now, wave 8, so I think we're starting wave 9. Not a real great showing, guys. I got 1 left. We're gonna beat this guy, I bet, and then we out. You can see that last battle cost me 10, so it does keep adding for every time you do your next battle. Oh yeah, I didn't think I'd pull out both of those victories. Way to go, Crafty Squirrel. Not this time. And this one, the leaderboard is already up, so you just have to scroll down to see it. And I'm a fan of collecting and minting the ships, which is why this is the one I'm the most active on. But even Crafty being active is still way down. That's enough to make 3 ships, so I'm down with that. And like I said, we go to the seasonal, and this is where you're playing against your fellow players, still your PvPs. You can see you get 20. And what? You get the first 5 free. And this one, it doesn't look like there's any restrictions, so we'll just go ahead and keep what I have loaded from the previous time. You can see I've got my 2 Titan ships. Got me a legendary. This ship is dope. I really want to get this level going. Come on. And then this one does some healing. So let's get it started. And I will say it's nice when you can, get some energy, whether it's on that daily rewards or you find some delving, or the main way to get it really is to just have a bunch of OLT, and so you just get it hourly. There's also a way on the tech tree where you can upgrade and get more, so you want to pay attention to that. Maybe we'll take a look-see. You're doing too much and it'd be like an hour gone already, so why don't you cover the shit you're already talking about, Crafty? Yeah, and I gotta say with these battles, yeah, you guys have been kicking my butt. I'm happy when I just score a couple wins to just add to my medal count. And I haven't been spending a lot of time focusing on what they're bringing for ships and then trying to add and change this up to counter it. I'm just freaking blowing through the battles and trying to rank up, and it definitely pays off for the people that are just going bonkers about it with spreadsheets and really maximizing the strategy with the details of the ships and all that. And I hear a lot of people making out like bandits when they're doing the expedition, and that's if you have a whole bunch of ships. You can just keep loading up the expedition, especially if you have a bunch of energy, because I think it's only like five every time you register it. So pretty cool. I'm just checking a little alpha about a future upcoming stream with Outlaw Troopers and Alien Worlds. Just saying. All right, let's do a couple more. Like I said, let's rip through these battles. And I want to see where I'm at. At this point, each time after the 5 free, you're paying 6. There's so many things that you can just skip through like that. I appreciate it very much. A lot of times I ain't got no time doing my battles like 5 minutes before I head out the door for work. That's really why a lot of times I'm forgetting to submit my life force. Where are we at? 9 left. Let's keep going. I still have enough energy, I believe. 155, yeah. You do find that you use energy for everything. Usually when you get that, oh, you've ran out of materials, that's usually the first one. Almost done, gang. We got 5 left. Let's just crank them out. All right, victory. Yeah, you'll see my winning percentage is horrible. 3 left. Let's go. Yeah, I'm used to seeing that. You lose. All right, that's all of them. Check out the leaderboard. I like this one because you get a whole bunch of ships, and if you get high enough, you get a spin on the wheel. That's what that represents. Oh my damn! Look at all them spins. I'm just happy if I could get like one. Let me just get one spin. And look at that. You can go all the way down to 15th place to get it. Uh-oh, slipping. What's going on, Roger? Still way better than me. What am I talking about? But hey, even at 31st place, I'm going to get a rare ship and 4 common ships. I'm down with that. Yeah. I already forgot what I was going to talk about in the troopers, so let's just say we covered everything I wanted to. And go back to the regular screen. Yeah, that's enough out of you, Peanut Gallery, aka Freedom the Dog. Yeah, guys, I've been distracted and busy. I gotta move. Broke my middle finger in 2 places. The one that controls the mouse, so it's not very fun without my brace or with it. Kind of blows. Another reason you guys are crushing me on the boards this season. Let's see if it's time to mine. Mining is the main reason why I'm trying to keep my billions in credits, because it's expensive when you actually have some decent NFTs. So I can do this, select them all. See that cost? Damn. You can see I'm going to at least get that much life force And then there's a percentage to get other stuff. So let's deploy it. Nope, just the light force. But sometimes you can pull a gene, you know. So feel free to stop by Crafty's Planet. Take a look at my planet. Go ahead and claim that. Yep. And I really haven't done much to build up my second planet. Look at that. We should probably upgrade that a little bit. What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and do some gene. Pump these up. Wow, looks like that's it. And when you get the claim button, it's the combination of all your planets. So let's get out of there. Yeah, and I think we're good on the troopers. Let's see what I might want to do for the inventory. You can see I can make a couple of bots. And that's one thing that you can just never have too many of. You're always going to use them. And, you know, currently I'm trying to get as many as I can because I've got one of those Omega vouchers, but I don't have enough Mega Quits to do that. And I don't want to buy them on the secondary market. So it's a long grind to get up to that. And then you can either buy it on the secondary market or go right to the premium office. Let's see, office. Let's, I'm going to share where I'm at now. Because you can go up into the vault. Let's see if we open this up. And we'll share this tab instead. Because I wanted to show you, you can go to the premium shop, right? And this is where you're going to get the vouchers if you don't get them dropped or if you don't buy them on the secondary market. And for those that are on the IMX side, you really want to pay attention to what you can get through the game shop, you know, through the vault with FGL, because this is the opportunity you're going to get to get a lot of the single items, you know, and keep them in your gaming wallet that you just can't have in your regular IMX passport, for example. But you can see the cost. And so do your shopping, right? See if you can get one for cheap. Maybe you get one on Atomic Hub. You know, maybe somebody's selling this on the actual regular market, right? So maybe you get one not in the premium shop, but under the regular NFT inventory. Like I got the tab open right there. And you can see as you go through the items, this might be mine, right? I actually have one listed. Come on, nobody's bought it for 12,000 FGL. Bring it. Maybe not. But this is where you go for the regular shop. And then obviously select what you want, right? And you can see this is from everybody that's playing the game. So the prices change, right? And you can find value as well. And then it's also the opportunity again for the IMX and Reflex players to jump in and get other troopers on the single while you're building your empire instead of just adding decks all the time. So yeah, let's go ahead and go right into Machiavellic. Let's go see how we're doing on time too. Coming up on like half an hour. I appreciate you guys hanging out with Crafty. Let's change up some designs. We don't need to see that squirrel all the time, right? So we're moving over to Machiavellic. And we're going to talk that game for a little bit. Just looking at some of these images here, and like just a reminder, always time to play the troopers. How are these connected? Aside from being under the FGL game umbrella, the troopers and the mecha worlds are factions in this game as well. So there's pretty cool crossovers going on. And let's see, I think what I'll probably do is just sign right into the game. And then I'll share that right quick. So I'll just leave the screen up while I sign in. Yo. And I'll see if my rocks have reset. You know, every day you can bust out 40 rocks, and you get 100 tiers for it. So at the very least, you want to log in and do that. And it's always nice that if you have your officers boarded, they're making that sweet Mac for you, right? So you're getting paid that way. You are getting a paycheck. At least your officers are. Just loading it up. I usually keep it on mute so I don't have the sound. You know, sometimes I flip it on to get the alarm. All right, she's loaded up, so let's go ahead and share something else. What's up, gang? It's time. All right, let's share the other screen. You should be looking at my main login screen for Crafty. Looks about right. Yeah. Cool. So, getting back into the game. They keep doing awesome updates with these patches. And I like how it opens right up to your inventory so you can see everything that you have. And everything that you see here is in the game. So, it's been imported for use. And it's also all of the items that you've been collecting and scooping up, whether you're destroying the debris, some of those wacky space invaders, or you know, them rocks. You gotta break them rocks, son. But then break it down, man. Not the rocks, but what you can do as far as the categories. You can see there's weapons, ammunition, material, others, miscellaneous stuff. Well, let's take a look and see where I'm at for the rock count. Has it reset? Yeah. Let's fly up here. You know, I'm pretty good at flying, I'm just saying. So it looks like there's been enough destruction to get another invasion from the space invaders coming at us. And it looks like we got 7 minutes. I'm not going to wait that long. I'm just going to try to break them rocks up. A couple things. You want to get close enough so you're obviously within range to get them. And you can just go in your sights like that. Or if you hit the keyboard, hit P, it sets you on auto fire, but it doesn't, it just goes to the closest item. So if you want to go quick, or if you know you have a whole bunch of rocks, like if it goes after all these guys, great. You can see it's going to start adding up the count right there. So let's get it. And you have to remember, we do have the convoys coming on. I was trying to get some juice on the actual dates for the ones coming in June. Ain't nobody got back to Crafty yet, so maybe it'll show up in a comment, or maybe I'll just have to get Mac on another stream. But get ready, because this is the Ada side of convoys, the Cardano. And so you're going to get NFTs and stuff that are Ada based, and also some of the coins that are Ada blockchain. And don't forget to check out the story if you want to know all about Machiavellic and why there's 10 factions and why they are on a ship going to Ozer. If you see my previous videos, you already know that. Getting back to the shooting, where are we at? See that I was able to check on other stuff. You can see we got 5 minutes and change before this invasion. Not quite up to 40 yet. And it's always nice, guys, when you log in and, you know, it's just you. It's rough when there's like 4 or 5 people in here at the same time trying to get their 40 rocks for the day, you know? You notice with the recent patches that they have these icons that give you more information, like your shielding, your weapons. I don't know exactly what those icons are. Pretty sure that's the shield. But I'm sure it'll be updated on the wiki, which we'll get to that at some point. We still got to talk about Cornucopias. Loving it, guys. You know, those are the 3 games that I'm digging, and you know, I'll talk about other games too. And you know, we got a Squirrel game going on, way in the background. But you know the deal. When you have one developer, you're at that developer's pace, and you know, we got to do things like work and pay bills, man. That's messed up. All right, cool. I think I got 40 rocks, so let's go ahead and stop that. That's the lazy way. Let's check out the leaderboards. This is from the last event. And this is, you were getting Woofy and some taco NFTs. You can see I got 8th place and 0 NFTs. But hey, man, got me some Woof. Looks like some people still need to select their factions. You have 10. You know, Crafty is down with the pushers and movers. But got to give a shout out to the Outlaw Troopers faction and the Mecha Worlds faction. All right, let's get out of that. And you can see the main menu here. I love how they have the current bar that you're on. Usually it's the first bar. You can see what they are packing for the weapon type, and you can also see how much ammunition they have left, so you don't get caught out of ammo when you're battling those Space Invaders, or even more, a convoy. That's when everything is dropped. And the other thing, for the people that haven't checked the updates and stuff, they've been adding the leftovers from the previous convoys. Like if there's any spillage left over, they catch it, wrap it up, and they put it in new crates and drop it on you. So you're going to get miscellaneous coins from past convoys. I think maybe NFTs as well. I don't know that for sure, though. But again, you know, when you're talking FGL games and in Crafty's eyes, you know, this is the one that has the ridiculous graphics. And let's go ahead and zoom into these poor officers getting their training in these cabins. I mean, you can get the sweet upgrade so you can do 4 weapons, but it's still not really a big cabin. And you're plugged in, son. I mean, look at this. Let's keep going. Who is the lucky soldier? Come on, man. You gotta at least name your dude. You're missing out on some tiers. You get 100 tiers just for naming all your officers. All right, I want to find somebody with a name. Come on. How about you? No, you ain't got no name. You ain't got no legs. You ain't got no name either. You can see I wasn't prepared to specifically zoom in on my homies. Well, there's something. You can see we have quite a few officers ready to go. There's one. But yeah, look at that. You're stuck in there. You got 2 weapons, that's great, but I mean, not a lot of movement. What are you gonna do? And you're hooked up, you're hooked into the net, the main net. If you want to get a closer look, look from this range. Uh-oh, the invader started, guys. I think this happened the last time I was in the stream. Wasn't really prepared to fight, but go ahead and select all these people. And this is a really hard event, guys, because you have to stop the progression of all these Dagon Space Invaders from getting to the very bottom, or else you lose, and you usually have to have a lot of the players on here with you. I found that if you're in the drone and you throw on that automatic target, sometimes that'll help you keep track of the actual guy you're shooting at, right? Because I find there with the movement, you're constantly getting lost. And you can see the energy, it takes forever to break that down, so. Usually in the drone doing this, but why not just stay here? At least now you have something to shoot at, right? How many players do we have online? 3? Yeah, we're not winning this. All right, anyway. Go ahead and get out of the share. You can see everybody on the top row is firing where my drone is firing. And I try to get down here and take out the bottommost invader. But the other cool thing is if you have other officers firing, even if they got bad aim, they're going to hit some other ones. Won't be long. You know what happens is they will all disappear. It's been so long since I made it to the 2nd level, I don't even know if that works anymore. What's up with that, Mac? Need to coordinate some of these invaders where we know there's like, oh, I don't know, 10 players or so in here. Because if you have like, you know, I don't know, maybe even 8 to 10, and you have a decent amount of officers loaded up, you should be able to take out these rounds. This is also the time you want to check your inventory on your ammo before and after the events, right? So the cool thing about the countdowns is you get time to load up your ammunition and even craft some, you know, if you realize you're out. Because a lot of the events you're getting like 15 or 30 minutes as a heads up. Yeah, see? You lose! You can tell because then it's just this crap available, right? Oh, man. And I don't want to use all my ammo, so usually I'm just going in with the drone. All right, let's get out of there and take a look at just some more of the menu, you know, to get familiar with it. Right here is settings. Bam. You can go exit. This is the best way to exit. Sometimes if you try to X out, it'll freeze. So I found, you know, when you just click the exit, it's the best. You want sound effects. There you go. So much going on. But then going into the faction pools, right? You can see all the various pools. Excuse me. Now let's go right into your outfit. That's this button right down here. You can see who you are as the Overlord. This is where you go if you want to make changes. You can see what you got for money. And you can also see what you're getting for a salary, if you have any bonuses, when you go and get paid. Although sometimes, actually, I think that is accurate. What us Americans have to remember is these are flipped. So it's the day, month, year, not month, day, year. Yeah, we have a tendency of doing stuff the hard way, right? Anyway, so you open that, and then that's where you get to your officers and importing all the various NFTs or mock tier. That's nice that you can do tiers from Wax now. So that's where you want to go. You can see up here, like I was saying, you get some tiers for naming all your officers, just for putting names on them. And you get some more for just boarding all the officers. Then you get more for just selecting a faction. So those are free tiers, and you know you need tiers because you're always using them to craft things in addition to the actual items and resources that you need. So get them tiers. Between that and rocks, that's the only way to get them aside from actually buying the token and importing it, you know. And I think it's a lot more fun if you're just trying to grab everything you can from playing the game, right? If you can just have everything in game. I mean, that's what I'd prefer to do. Sometimes it ain't possible. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of Machiavellic and probably start talking about Cornucopias. And why don't we do that? Let's see. It is the bomb. This is my favorite metaverse, yo. My favorite. So let's go ahead and close some of these screens. I'm going to go ahead and log out of my Machiavellic game. Go ahead and exit that. Got too many windows open. Close out the vault. We don't need that at the moment. I'll get to my troopers later. All right. So now, getting into Cornucopias, which is pre-alpha. There still is the plan to go alpha by the end of the year. The next build is going to have a whole bunch of different things you're going to be able to do. Getting into, there's going to be a mine or two active that you can explore, which is going to be awesome. You should be able to go through an obstacle course or two, and there's a lot of other things going on. And I think the one after that is when we're going to be able to do the land drop. But to get the exact details, definitely check out the Kopi Cafe episodes, man. I'm always watching them and rewatching them. I thought about clipping one and just highlighting the plot stuff, but I took a couple notes, and so we'll just cover it that way. But let's go right into. I think we're gonna just go into the wiki site. So why don't we share that screen? We could pop over to the main site as well, and I can also log in. Let me take off this overlay. So looking at Cornucopias, we'll start with here, the sectors. Let me make sure I'm showing you the right thing. Cool. Looking at the sectors, right? There's 3 going on right now. There's Solus, Esperanza, and Fortune. This one is live and drop, and each zone has 3. So you got Solus 1, 2, 3. The next build is going to have Esperanza. I'm not sure what's going on with Fortune, if they're releasing that at the same time or if that's going to be later. I think that's coming with the next build. And again, check the notes. And even when you log in, you can see what the last upgrade was, the date. And so if you don't see something for this month, it ain't happened yet. And I'm not saying it's going to happen this month, but hopefully it does. But anyway, I just wanted to start here before we go into the land, because you need to know where you're dropping it, right? And then this is a nice little graphic of the actual transit system. That's pretty cool when you're riding the train. Come on, ride that train. And ride it. It's under the domes. Pretty sweet. And there's going to be, you see up here in the red, there's going to be the interstellar travel and the surface stations. And so, you get there, you got to go up the stairs, and then you exit, you get into the towns. Not too worried about the actual zones. We've talked about it. But just to review, if you look at the NFTs, the different types of land, you get the small, medium, large, epic, and copious land plots. And these are the dimensions of said plots. Here's a nice little comparison so you can see what a copious plot looks like compared to a small. We talked about the flying vehicles or the public transport. That's how you get around. Well, let's go back into the actual domes and the layouts and stuff, right? So you can see a lot of the property that you're going to buy is going to have various characteristics, right? As far as the surroundings, the hills, mountains, whatever. They're not cookie cutter. They're all different, and it's amazing. You can get stuck just looking at the definition of the rocks. I'm such a nerd. But getting into the plots, once you have them, right, you're going to be dealing with NPCs. You're going to have daily quests. You're going to have town halls. You're going to have boards. You're going to have, communities. And you're going to have all these different events going on in Solus, but also in a town within Solus, right? And it's like they're their own districts, and they each have their own little events going on. And it's going to be determined by the activity of the people playing the game. And it's cool. You're going to have free roaming farm and wild animals. Maybe you're rocking chickens and growing corn and getting some horses. I don't know. Be cool to see when those first different types of animals come out. And I'm wondering if they're like NFT or if it's something that's strictly generated within the game. I bet stay tuned for another Coffee Cafe on that. So looking at this here, you can see when you're dropping them, it's going to be placed on the appropriate plot, right? When you're zapping and you're shooting out the beam to see where the property is located, you're going to be able to tell whether it's an epic and whatnot, right? So the key is what you can do when you actually place it. And I think when the next build comes out, I think we'll finally be able to fish and mine and chop lumber. I think that's going to be available when the land grab is actually available. So if that doesn't happen with this next update, it'll probably be the update when you can actually connect the plots to the game. But you want to focus on the things that you can do, just like real life. If you're around forests, you're going to see materials, and there's going to be certain spots where you can mine and collect wood in the forests. I'm not really worried about travel. We've already talked about all of that. Let's go into... I think we're going to go ahead and share and just flip over to the website. And a couple of notes from the last Cornucopias. I don't know if you guys have heard it yet, but you're going to be able to do land moving, which I think is awesome. And that's going to eliminate the worry, like if you have multiple plots, it's like, oh, I don't want to put this all in one spot, and then I'm stuck and I just have to build there forever. The details haven't been hammered out yet, but I think the nuts and bolts is you're going to have the opportunity at the end of every season to pack up your shit and move. You can pack up and relocate and take the stuff that you've created with your property NFT, and there's probably going to be some sort of fee. Travel expenses, that's pretty real. And you're going to be able to move. So you can determine, say you are, there's all kinds of different styles of play, right? So maybe you just want to be in the sticks and fish. You can just stay in a town that has a 0 population or like 10 people, like some of the towns in Maine. Or maybe you're doing group ups or you're doing guild action, right? So you're putting the little communities down with a specific purpose and area. And there's also like maybe you just want to be in a town that has a lot of community events going on, so you just want to play an active role building up a community. There's a lot of options when you have the properties there. You know what I mean? And the other cool thing, I think anyway, is that once you have actually placed your properties, you're going to need to stay active within the game, managing your property. So you're going to get penalized, and eventually, if you're inactive too long, it becomes vacant or something like that. So it's going to be interesting what really happens when you're calling it expire, if your property expires. I don't know if that's like, oh man, your lease ran out, Crafty. Sorry, you got to move, son. But it's incentive to stay in the game, which I like that too. It's pretty cool. It's like the word of the day. Pretty cool. All right, what am I showing you guys? Let's see. What do we want to talk about within? I wanted to go into more of the properties. And yeah, let's go right up here. And again, this is just more details. It's kind of just redoing it, but you can see what the plot NFTs look like. And then to get the more details of the theme zones that we covered, which was just the first 3. And the other thing is you can look at what the price was and when they were released, and then you can look at the supplies and the various rarities for the types of property that you get and the size of it, right? Whether it's common, copious, and so on. And you want to check out the JPEG store. Let's go right in there. Let's reshare. You should be able to see jumping right into the JPEG store. That link is pretty handy. Gets you right to where you need to go. And if you look at the floor, 68 ADA, so you can own your virtual real estate, your land in Cornucopias for around 46 bucks. And honestly, if you're going there, let's take a look. I mean, why not? If you're going to spend 68, speak much, Crafty? Why not just spend 72 and get the uncommon? That's what I'd do. And I've spent time as these have changed in price. I started with a couple of small commons. I've upgraded so I don't have any commons anymore. I've got uncommons, and I've gone across and I have a medium, and I've got a couple of, I've got like a couple legendary smalls, and that's important because of the placement. The rarity is going to determine when you get to hunt for the land, and the higher the rarity you have, the sooner the green light is lit for you. And it's going to be really fun. Hopefully I don't got to work when that actually becomes live. But keep an eye on the prices, guys. And another thing I'll show you if I can find it real quickly is, compare the ADA prices for the rarities or even the size of the properties compared to the actual mint price. And I mean, a lot of times if you can find value, not financial advice, just game advice, right? It's, you can find some of them for like half of the mint price. And for me, that's my value. I'm like, man, if I could get that for half of what the initial mint price was, man, that's a no-brainer for me, especially if it's like an uncommon rarity or higher. Man, I'll do that all day long. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough ADA to make that my reality. But again, let's go ahead and throw that. I've been saying some stuff, but yeah, this is just within the game. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Not even close. But I am having fun with all 3 of these games. Now let's see, while we're thinking about it, let's go ahead and drop, do I have a Cornucopias site? Well, it's cornucopias.io anyway. And I was eyeballing this before I came on, seeing some pretty decent value. Like look at these, look at all these rare. I can say I bought a few, and the price I paid was like 135 ADA at the time, and I thought that was a good deal. And the other thing to keep in mind is you look at the price of ADA, but then, you know, compare that to the price of ADA when you were stacking your bags, right? Like a lot of the NFTs I bought when ADA was down at like 22 cents, for example. And so that's another way I've been able to find a little bit of value. All right, let's see. Let's blast. I'm gonna leave that up and blast through Fortune, and then just see if we talk a little bit about the districts. So let's go ahead and share back into the district. You should be able to see land sector districts if I'm doing it right. You can tell that the property is what got me hooked in the game. I mean, the very first thing was the Jetson like bubble jet. You know, this is what. Let's get rid of the captions. This is what did it all for me. Where are you at, bubble jet? Right there. I gotta do some sort of remix. Maybe I can get with beats somebody and chop up some Jetsons music and add it and something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do that because I just love the connection in my mind anyway. But all right, let's go ahead and put him off the board. He flew away, and let's get back into the land with the districts, because this is where all the tasking is, you know. And again, every one of the sectors, you have multiple districts, and you're going to have all of these player and non-player owned houses, merchants, workshops, farms, and other utility buildings. And you can socialize, quest, craft, and trade. So you're going to be able to basically like check on quest boards and stuff. And just like we were looking at, it just takes one of those NFTs, you know, and right now it's like $45. That's not bad. And that gets you in, and just takes one, gets you in the game, and you can do all of this stuff, and you become a member of the district where you drop that land plot. So you can just do that one and rock the community, and that's all you do. And there's going to be various opportunities where you can enhance your own community, right? Completing tasks within that district, working with other people in that district to accomplish more tasks. And I really like the play and earn potential. You know, it's you're going to be, I keep saying it, but I think it's really exciting to literally set up the marketplace and create the industry. And it's going to be interesting to see how they're a little bit different in each little town that you go into, or each community that you see and interact with. Ooh, that was a hell of a whistle. All right, let's go back into the plots. And this just gives you a nice idea of the districts, right? And all the stuff where they say the district here that's under development may be changed, blah, blah, blah. We got it. I love the visual. And going into the plots, you can see that most of the buildings are going to have in-game utility. What does that mean? Keep reading. It tells you. They're not just there to be there. They're going to have some sort of functionality. And most of these buildings, you're going to be able to upgrade the functionality of the buildings. So you're looking at the sectors again to just look at what you can do, how you can engage, the activities that you can do. You got the farming, you've got the mining, you've got the fishing, you got the foraging, you got the forestry. These are all, the raw resources. And you want to, do the crafting. That's why you're collecting them. And you'll find that each one of the towns at the start, I believe, is going to have its own crafting table. So you're going to be able to take all these resources and basically, earmark, corn, the spots where you can do that. And you can see the districts are all going to have the gamut of types of properties as far as the size and rarity options. It's really the size when you're talking about placing it that matters. And this gives you an idea of how many plots are in the game so far and the rarities of them. Now, and this is the, I'm right on the main, I think I'm on the, where am I at? Yeah, I'm on the Cornucopias website instead of the wiki. So all this information, if you just go to cornucopias.io, you'll find it. Right here, this is the reason why you get various rarities. You know, the higher the rarity, it may have an impact. And I think it's going to be just like a percentage drop, right, of what you can get for elements on that land. And maybe, you know, the epic plots or something for rarity can pull minerals that you just can't find in the other ones, like the rare plots. This is what we keep going back to, guys. I can't wait. Come on. Come on. I really want to place my land. I got multiple properties. Let's go. And I'm really excited that, you know, I have a handful of properties, but the fact that I can just pick up and move for areas that I don't like, man, just like in real life, I'm just put that shit on the market. Good thing the disclaimer is going to be not for kids, guys, because I know I've been cursing. All right, let's go into the influence sphere. Some of this, along with the updates, I'm reading it just like you guys. I wanted to jump on and just to see what's changed. But we'll wrap it up in a little bit. I know we've been going for about an hour. But going into the influence sphere, known as the safe zone. I like that. You know, this is basically every district land plot is going to incorporate the type of influence sphere. So I keep saying sphere. Boo. Maybe it's, I better take a drink. Mandarin orange seltzer water, if you're wondering. But looking at the influence sphere, you're in the safe zone, right? So a lot of the dangers, you can avoid that. And the main thing is, like, once you're out of the safety zone, your buildings get damaged by nature and other elements. So it's pretty interesting. It's like you can be in the safe zone. It makes sense. You're in the green zone. You're safe. So you don't really have to worry about a lot of destruction and blah, blah, blah going on, right? And so if you don't want to get into the conflict, stay in the safe zone. And I like it. It'll be clearly marked. So you can see when you're in the safe zone or out of it. I'm going to be all over the place because you can see, depending on where you go within the seasons, you're going to be able to get different types of rewards. And so, look at that. Fortune could favor the brave. So looking at this, let's see if it blows up. This is pretty cool. I mean, again, you get to see an example of the different types of protection, right? You can see 100%, 52%, and so on. I love that graphic too. It gives you the little green cloud of safety. Freaking dope. Here's some land events. Rogue players, wild animals. That's going to be a big deal. It's going to be interesting too, what you can harvest once you kill the wild animals. This is new too. To me, the safe zone automatically gets larger with land activity. And that kind of makes sense. If you know the place is safe, you're going to want to live there. You're going to want to move there. So I think that, you know, those safe zones are probably going to be the big centers of commerce, right? Where most of the transactions are happening. It would make sense to me. Digging that. And again, other ways to increase it. Right there. And I like how it's just examples in the safe zone, some of the stuff that you can do to increase the range of the safe zone. From farming into just increasing the population to doing your tasks and stuff, harvesting your materials. Man, the trade is going to be so dope. That's interesting to see. As they grow, they may overlap, so maybe zone 1 and 2 connect, and now that's a mega safety sphere. Because you can see that's quite a bit of coverage. Okay, and looking at that, like I said, this is new stuff to me too. The larger the influence sphere, the more chance random items appear that can be foraged. All right. So if you can get a, bigger spot, more items that you can make and create safely, that's another way to attract people to your place. I'm looking forward to that, which I was talking about early, the leaderboards and how you'll have districts battling each other. And, if you have multiple properties in multiple districts, I mean, you're just winning all the time, right? Looking at the places of interest, moving on, you're going to see that they're going to be on the map outside of the land plots. And it's going to be areas that you want to explore, but it's going to have some dangers. So you're going to want to be careful, and you're going to also want to think about what you're putting in your backpack, right? Oh, look at that. Man, get attacked by another player or wildlife. Man, I'm just out here fishing. That's awesome. God, I can't wait. I've been sitting on my hands for a long time, Cornucopias. I need my land. Come on. It'd be nice if that same spot grew and was protected so I could fish and not worry about it. So it's the changing gameplay that's really cool. It's as you progress and you get experience and there's more stuff going on. It's like something that was in the danger zone suddenly is not in the danger zone. Oh, that's killer. All right, moving on, property rentals. And this is interesting for me because I have multiple properties and I'm not going to be able to lock in and manage all of them. So I'm going to have some set up where it's just, hey guys, do the work and we can make it worth your while. And usually once you are a resident, like you start renting, you can have the option or ability to do tasks and stuff on that property, and you gain experience and the land gains experience. So it's a win-win for both of the people that are players. And this is something we read today as far as looking at how many residents the property can house and can be upgraded to increase the number of tenants that you have. And that way you can have the choice to rent the property. And this is done on a season per season basis and is managed with the use of a seasonal tenant NFT key. Let's pop that open. All right, so looking at the tenant keys. Yeah, hey man, you just rented the spot. Here's your key. And this information here is it lasts just for the season. And then you have an option to renew your agreement before the next season starts. So it's like your lease. Your 1-year lease. And so, the owner can also be like, man, sorry, I decided I'm not going to rent anymore. Hey, that's kind of like what's happening to me. There's a change in ownership of the property, and now I got to find a new place to live. Just real life. Unfortunately, I can't move all my shit into Cornucopias at this moment in time. But again, back to that key. Once you have it, you can become a resident of a district by staking your seasonal tenant key onto a district property. So wherever you decide to rent, you become a part of that community so you can take part in the events of the community. Love it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We got all the weapons going on, and you can get those on the market. Some of them you can actually still mint, but this is getting into the fact that you're going to need weapons. Just go right through one of them, the meat grinder. You guys have probably seen that video. It's pretty funny. But just to give you an idea, we're getting weapons into the game, and it's going to be for a number of reasons. You're going to need it to defend your property. You're also going to need it to find these opening voids and stuff and battle the monsters and close the void itself. You'll be able to use it for hunting. And this is just an example of one of those weapons. And you can see when it was minted, how many there are, what the initial price was. And then you can always go to the JPEG store and see what's on there for the secondary market. You can see this one, it's not standard, it's various rarities. And then look, you can see it labels some of the utility that it has. It's a quick little pick of the meat grinder. A lot of times it's like, man, I don't even care the rarity. I just like what the color of the weapon looks like. You notice how that changes to a green base. I like that red one. Yeah, so a lot of times, look at that, the mythic, it's like, okay, it's like, what is that, all chrome? I think all these other ones are cooler looking than that one. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today. You know, I covered all 3 of my favorite games. There's all kinds of action and activity going on in all of them. So keep checking in, and maybe I'll focus on one for the next Moonday. And there's also, you know, we'll expand and talk about other games. So if anybody wants to come on and talk, like if Xander example, you know, you want to come on and talk Alien Worlds, it's crossed over to these games anyway, to Machiavellic and Outlaw Troopers. So it makes sense to chat about what's going on in the Alien Worlds. I mean, specifically, you know, there's that Alien Worlds racetrack that is on the Machiavellic. And so you're going to be able to race your drone and some of the other Alien World NFTs to get your vehicles and race in that game. And so that's going to be another awesome crossover option. And I'm loving it. So, you know, give me a chat, say what's up, drop, you know, reach out on Twitter, whatever, drop a comment on any of these platforms, and we can do some stuff. But it's exciting. You know, I'm just looking for a overlay, not a background. So many cool graphics within Cornucopias, and it's like one sector at a time. You can just focus on the animals and the detail. You know, I should one of these days I'll log into the content creator side and just have you guys look at the gallery of these images, and you can see, like, for example, all these animals, the regular gray clay background, you know, the standard that they build all of this detail on. And I mean, just look at that. You can tell the hair, the fur, you know, the short hair, the bear fur. It's just the fur of the wolf and the fox. It's incredible. I mean, the attention to detail and how they're running that game is awesome. Just some more quick little Cornucopias hits. Then over to the factions. Now this is not Cornucopias, obviously. This is the faction leaders on the Machiavellic. Then let's not forget the troopers. This is the one that's rocking the most. It's been the most active as far as the season's running, completely live, and the upgrades and changes are amazing, and they keep you busy, keep you active. Like I said, 17 seasons, and this is the I think the best season for growth. These last 2 seasons have been awesome. So get into the mix, man. It only takes 1 trooper to play Outlaw Troopers. It only takes 1 officer to play Machiavellic. It only takes 1 property to get into Cornucopias. And really, it's not even a land plot. You can get virtually any NFT within Cornucopias, and it's going to give you the opportunity to log into the pre-alpha and check the game out. So that's a dealio. I think we'll leave it at that. You guys have an excellent day.
Crafty crypto, watch my flip the wrist. Blockchain champion, I'm making flips. Crypto game strong, I'm stacking in chips. Got the West Coast beat, cruising in the sun. With Crafty's crypto watch, I'm having so much fun. Checking out the market, seeing what's hot. Crypto was my playground, that's all I got. Dropping lines like Bitcoin. I'm the king of the game. Crafty's crypto watch, it's my claim to fame. King the clubs, making moves like a pro.